Hey everyone, I'm back in New Zealand now after the World Fly Fishing Champs, and it's the middle of winter, so that means it's raining a lot. I have a new Euro Nymphing rod here. It's the Vision Nymphomaniac Twin Tip. It's a 3-weight. When I get a new rod, a new Euro Nymphing rod, I like to wrap them with nylon to prevent the thin Euro Nymphing leader from sticking to the rod during rainy days, which can really hinder casting and make it extremely difficult to get any sort of good distance. So I thought I'd go about and show you quickly how I do that. So this is the butt section. I won't wrap that because the distance from the guide to the blank is a bit bigger in the bottom section, so you're less likely to have that tension from the water and the line sticking to prevent the sliding. So I only really tend to wrap the first 3 sections of the rod. So I've got, this is the next section up. So I thought I'd show you how I do it. So the way I do it is quite simple. I take about 6 pound fluorocarbon or nylon. I haven't noticed any difference. And all you'll need other than that is some super glue. So I take the nylon and I'm gonna make a uni knot. So I'll just put that around here. Just with the camera angle, I'm having a bit of trouble. So I'll just do this and then I'll show you what that looks like. So you can do any knot that's gonna slide and hold around the blank. So I'm gonna do a uni knot and put it through 6 times through the loop I've made. 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just going to tighten that down, and I don't think it really matters exactly what knot you do here. And I'm going to try and keep the tag and the little knot on the opposite side to the guides so that there's no chance it could catch. And I want this end to just kind of cinch down and hold tight. So it's held now. So I will just move this tag out of the way. And now I'm going to simply just roll the blank while holding the line in my other hand. And keep an eye for this tag. As I go, I'm going to try and space out the wraps just under an inch apart, or centimetre and a bit. And I'm just going to do this kind of, not like crazy tight, but just firmly, and try and keep the tension as I go. If I slip, then I just start again, so it doesn't matter. And I'll just keep going. So on these parts here with the slippery part, you sometimes just need to make the wrap slightly bigger or smaller to make sure that it's in the right spot and not going to slide. So when you do this, it should last about a season. Eventually the line kind of degrades or gets a bit caught on things and you have to replace it. It kind of gets a bit frayed or it comes undone. But yeah, it doesn't take too long. It's just a few minutes to do a rod. If you're worried about it affecting the action of the blank, the other thing you can do is just cut it off during the summer. So I really haven't noticed a difference, but some people worry about that. So I've wrapped the whole rod now, and I've created that nice spiral. So now that I'm at the end, what I don't want to do is come up this part. That would be a problem because that needs to go into the next section. I'm just going to, and this is maybe a little unorthodox, I'm just going to wrap the line kind of on top of itself a couple of times, like that. and that just kind of holds the line with the line. And then I'm just going to make a half hitch. Make a little half hitch there. Sorry about my spool of nylon moving around. And once I've done that half hitch, I just cut the line and give my finger on it. I just try and keep the tension a little bit. And then, yeah, so I've caught it in my hand now. So now that I have done that half hitch, I will take my super glue. This is just any old glue that you find down at the corner shop. And I'm just going to put a little dab of that on top of where the half hitch is. And I just wait a moment. And I've never had a problem with this coming undone. It just is a pretty simple way of doing it. I've seen people do it with thread as well, which is maybe a little bit more of a fancy way to do it, but this is kind of the first way I ever tried, and because I never really had a problem with it, I just kept doing it this way. Put a bit of super glue on, move it around with the end. And after a little bit that will set, so I'll just wait a sec. So that's set now, more or less. So what I'm going to do is just put a little layer of super glue all the way around it. And keep going all the way around. Now while I'm waiting for this to dry, I will just put a bit of glue on this other end as well. This end, you don't need to worry about it coming undone as much before you put the glue on, because I've done the uni knot. There's a big glob of super glue coming off there. I don't want too much, it'll go everywhere. Yeah, just a little bit of super glue. Put that over the... So basically I just want to glue over where the uni knot was. And what that will do is just hold it tight. So now I'll just wait for it to set. So I'll just take my scissors, and you want to make sure that you trim the tag end here nice and flush from where the uni knot was. So it's smooth, and one of the reasons we tend to do it on the other side of the blank here rather than on the side with the guide is that way there's no chance of the line somehow getting caught on it. So then I do the same here. Alright, cut the line as close as I can. And sometimes once this is dry, I might put a little bit more super glue on and just give it a double coat, but I've really never had a problem with it coming undone. Yeah, so that's one option. This is one way to do it that's quite permanent. You can, of course, cut this off and do it again, but you always have a little mark where the super glue was. The other way that my mate Sergio showed me in Spain is to put the rod together. So you put all the pieces of the rod, have it fully assembled, but without the line on it. And you would tie the nylon to... You tie the nylon to the hook keeper, or if you don't have a hook keeper, you could tie it to the first guide. And this is a temporary way. It does waste a bit of line, but so I'm just going to do any knot. So I'm just going to do a punch knot here. 2, 3. So I do this sometimes when I'm doing tuition and it starts raining and the person I'm doing the tuition with, their rod's not wrapped. So this is like a temporary and fast way to do it. So you tie it onto the hook keeper, and then you can just roll it all the way up the rod and keep going, spacing it out evenly as you go, and often having some friend to do it, to spin the rod for you in the parking lot is helpful. But you can spin it all the way up the rod, and you tie it to, once you keep going, you would tie it eventually onto the back part of the tip section, and that way the rod is completely wrapped all the way up with one strand of nylon, and then you don't glue it or anything, you just cut it and the knot stays, and you do like a clinch knot or a uni knot at each end to hold it tight, and that way you can fish for the day with the rod wrapped. It's maybe good if you want to try the idea. And then at the end of the day, when you want to disassemble the rod, you just cut the wrap, and you can take the rod apart and put it back as it was. So yeah, that's a temporary way to do it. And then the more permanent way, which I've done here, where you can see this is now pretty glued. And that will hold nicely, and I should be able to have this on my rod all season. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe if you're interested in more tips and content coming up. I'm going to try and make a little bit of a series, about a bit of a how-to series with some tips and tricks like this. So keep an eye out for that. And I've got some more clinics coming up over the summer, so if you're interested in coming along or doing any tuition, you can reach out to me in my email or on social media. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.